Hi everybody. Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on how you can use the latest release from DeepSeek V3, especially because V3 was already pretty good. So this V3 is their regular model, R1 is their thinking variant, so similar to O1 or Sonnet thinking mode. But yesterday, V3 got an update, which puts it on par, really close to GPT 4.5 and Sonnet 3.7, which are the most expensive state-of-the-art models. This is a major update because it's dirt cheap. If you look at the pricing here, we're talking like minuscule compared to the other two major providers. And on top of that, you even get a discount price if you're using this in off-time hours. These hours will mean that the big load for DeepSeek is over and they're giving you a 50% off and even 75% off on R1. This is UTC 4:30 p.m. Until midnight 30. So what you'll have to do, you will have to go to the DeepSeek API platform. You will have to go to this top up tab here where you will want to input a little bit of money. Myself, I put $5. And if I go and click on my billing tab here, I've used it for a little bit and I'm not even close to hitting the usage. So here I think I used like 3 cents in a few days and I've been using it a lot. So once that is done, you will head over to your API key tab. You will create on the button Create New API Key. You'll click here. You'll give it a name. And you'll bring this over into your editor. I will leave all of the code, by the way, in the tutorial down in the text below. What we will be doing today will be to implement, without any libraries, hitting the API to use DeepSeek either R1 or V3. When to use which one will depend a lot on your use case, and we're going to talk into this right at the moment. Just know you can still use the OpenAI package in either Python or JavaScript. Just because it is OpenAI compatible, meaning they follow the same API format. However, I want to give you the tool to use this free of any package on your own if you're working in JavaScript or TypeScript. So let's jump into my editor here. In my editor, I prepared a few things. So let's close cursor here. I prepared first just a regular DeepSeek demo where we're asking it first to write a React component, just a basic to-do list. So let's go ahead and actually start this because it takes a while. I've not implemented streaming in that specific demo. We'll show that a bit later. So when do you want to use V3 versus R1? So V3 is the chat model. It's the best when it comes at creating text, translations, code, but it's not the best when it comes to doing planning or multi-step reasoning. So it will produce really well-written, repeatable, and executable code. That will be its strength. So for example, if you have a problem where you want to plan the architecture of a repo, you will do that in R1, but the implementation file by file, you'll do that with V3 regular. All right, so now back to the terminal, the API response came back. And just so you can see, if I go into this DeepSeek service, all I am doing here is calling the JavaScript fetch function, hitting the chat completions API, passing it a few messages, and all I am doing is to console log it back into the console. So here I tested this a few times before. It worked really well. The code executed right away. Let's start a demo where we see the difference of how you can use with the reasoner. Reasoner being R1, which is the model that really took the world by storm a few weeks ago. So I'm going to be using that same function called DeepSeek API. The only difference is that I will ask it to use the DeepSeek reasoner model. So in our function, we have two things that we're passing. First, the model we're choosing, V3 being the chat model, or reasoner being the R1 model, and then the messages. So if you want to use R1, you will go ahead and specify it as the first argument. And just an example of the prompt that we're using here, this prompt requires more thinking. A famous example is the how many R's in strawberry, which has tripped up a lot of regular chat models before thinking models were invented, not that long ago actually. So here you can see this is asking it a math question about speed, about trains, and let's see what kind of answer it's able to give us. So as you see here, it will give you a step-by-step problem resolution. So this is good if you need to think in advance to really get planning to architecture, problem solving. You will use R1 and you will chain these things, this implementation into V3. But this is if you're building more of an agent, if you're building more on the server side. If you're building more on the client side, we'll go open into my editor here, a stream demo. So these could take a few seconds. So if you're building a UI, the users will expect the text to be generated as it comes. So the model will start to do the inference, will start to generate the text. So instead, you want to implement a stream. And I won't go into too many details, but I've used a text decoder here. And what I've done is that I've accumulated gradually the chunks and I've logged them as they come into the console. So let's go ahead and run this one. So stream, okay. So I just asked it, hello, how are you? Now the model is just receiving the request. And as you see, I'm printing at the bottom here, I'm printing things as I go. So if I repeat this, you will see that word by word or token by token, things are getting back to me and I'm logging them in as I come. So this is a much more interactive experience versus if you're just calling the API without streaming, you will get just to wait 30 seconds, get a whole chunk of code this way. So that was it. I highly encourage you to try out DeepSeek. Just a caveat, DeepSeek is still a Chinese company and the data retention for there, it's pretty big. This means that you can expect all of your data to be sent to the Chinese government if it requests it. So just be mindful of that. If you have private user data, you might want to avoid that and use a more local or privacy-focused kind of model. So all right, everybody, have a great day and let me know if you have any questions, what kind of videos would you like, and please look at the code onto the blog. It's going to be live right after I release the video.